What's up, everybody? It's your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, one of the original Road Warlords, and as always, bringing you the knowledge and dropping the science in this industry of what we call trucking. Okay, I'm doing this particular video because a lot of these questions have been coming up between contract freight and spot market freight. Which one is the best? And so, I'm gonna give a complete breakdown and give you the pros and the cons and stuff. And so, it's not to say that one is better than the other, because you can do all right with both, but you have to have an understanding of both and know where you stand or what is it that you're trying to do. Because these things, they have different chambers and stuff. For instance, you can be a contract, you can have contract freight as an owned operator, and you can have a contract freight as someone that's leased. You can have a contract, you can have run spot market freight as an owned op. You can run spot market as a lease. There is a difference. And see, the confusion comes in and stuff. And so, people will sit there and will speak on certain things and stuff, but then they fall under certain categories. And because you being under a certain category is why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, or what you used to experience if you did a particular thing. All right. So let's start with the contract freight. All right. If you, it runs in two categories. Either contract freight owned operator, or your contract freight lease. Now, the most common one is contract freight owned operator. All right, which is what most people are and stuff. Okay, you go out here. That means you go out here. You get a customer. You negotiate the rates, terms, and conditions of the loads and stuff. How often are loads and stuff coming out, where they're going, and then how much they're going to be paid and stuff to go to a certain lane and so on and so forth. All right. So once that's negotiated and stuff, then you sign on the dotted line and stuff like that, and then you proceed to offer services and stuff, and then be compensated for the services that you render. Okay, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, it all depends on the contract and stuff that you sign. Okay, now in that contract, once you make the contract based on the terms and conditions, then you're locked in. Okay, so when you're locked in, you're locked in on rates, you're locked in on travel lanes, you're locked in on how many loads and stuff come outside the facility. Okay, now this is where it starts to get. This is where a lot of people experience this type of thing here and stuff, and then they say, well, have a contract freight ain't all what it's cracked up to be. Okay, if the people that you sign a contract with says that they're going to be pushing out, say, 6 loads a day, right? The contract calls for them to be pushing out 6 loads a day. And then, so if they got 6 loads a day, then you need to have 6 trucks that are over there to all those 6 loads. Now, he may call for 6 loads, but he may only push out 4 loads. Okay? He only push out 4 loads. Now, if you got contract freight owned operator, then that means you're still going to get paid for 6 loads, even though the customer only pushed out 4. It's just like how you look at it. It's just like having cell phone. It's just like having a cell phone back in the day. You didn't have unlimited service. You had used to have to buy minutes, 400 minutes, 600 minutes, 800 minutes, all depending on how often you use your phone, so on and so forth. Now, at the end of the month, let's just say you signed up for a 600 minute plan and you only use 500 minutes. Then that 100 that you didn't use, it don't get to roll over. You just lost it, and you paid for it, and you're locked in that contract. Well, it's the same thing as a contractor as an owned operator. Okay? They pushed 6 loads out. He's calling for 6 loads. He only pushed out 4. So that means what happened is that you got 6 trucks that are over there, but only 4 of them moved. But the two that didn't move and stuff, well, those drivers there and stuff have to negotiate something. Now they're on the lease end of the contract freight deal. They're on the lease end, but on the own operator end, they called for 6. They only pushed out 4. He's still gonna get paid for 6 loads because that's what the contract calls for. Okay, so it doesn't mean that tomorrow he get the 2 loads and stuff that he didn't get pushed out. It doesn't mean that he get to add those on and stuff and say, well, okay, now I got 8 loads now and stuff. Okay, he still got 6 more loads that he's pushing. Now, if he got 2 loads extra, if he has 2 loads extra, then what he can do, the customer, what they can do is one of 2 things. They can either A, go with the contract carrier that they got and say, well, hey man, listen, those 2 loads and stuff that I was supposed to push out yesterday, I got them coming out today. What can you do for me? And so, you being a contract carrier on the first contact and stuff, you can say, well, yeah, I can get you 2 trucks over here and stuff, but then they negotiate a different fee for those 2 loads, or it may be somewhere in the contract and stuff that states that, well, all right, if you have any overage and stuff like that, we can cover it for this fee right here. Just like being in the cell phone. Once you use your minutes, once you went over your minutes, then they got you get charged overage. So now he's sitting there saying, well, okay, how bad does he want the loads and stuff to be pushed out? Because me, a customer, I already got a primary service provider, so I don't want to go through the whole ordeal and stuff of trying to look for a truck and stuff to come over here and pick up these other 2 loads when I already got somebody here. So fine, I'll just pay the fee or whatever it is, the stuff that he's asking, because it's not a rare occurrence and stuff, right? Things can and do happen. So we just have to pay the extra money and stuff, and we just have to be better on our side of business. So what he does is that he give him the 2 loads and stuff, and so he's saying, well, okay, I can either get the truck over there, either I can get 2 trucks of my own over there and stuff, or I'll just take these 2 loads and stuff and broker them out. I'll broker them out and stuff, because my job is to provide transportation and move your freight, goods, and services from one point to the next. This is what we specialize in. So you go back to worrying about, what product and stuff that you're going to have out and so on and so forth. We'll do our job and stuff. You can do yours. And, you pay us for taking care of these things and stuff for you. Don't worry about that. We'll get you covered. Okay? So, when you're an own operator with that type of contract and stuff there, which a lot of people are, then yeah, that works in your favor. Now, when you're running contract freight on a lease side, then this is where it starts affecting, because when you go and you leased on with these guys that have this contract freight, what they're saying, what they don't tell you is that you're only going to haul those loads right there. That's it. You're only going to haul those loads right there. Wherever we got contracts and stuff at, that's the freight that you're going to haul. Now, mind you, since we got the contracts, you don't have to worry about work as much, because there's always going to be work. But it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that you're going to, that you're going to get the work and stuff, because things can and do happen. But I, the own operator that has the contract, I'm going to get paid. But if I send you over here, and they only push out, they call for 6 trucks, I'm sending 6 trucks over there, right? Because I got to fulfill my contract. But if you only push out 4 loads and stuff, then that just means you're on the front of the list for tomorrow, because he's going to need 6 more trucks tomorrow. But that just means that me, as an own operator, with the contracts. Instead of me having to send 6 more trucks over there, I only have to send 4 trucks over because I got 2 that didn't move from yesterday. All right. And so now you bump to the front. Now you bump to the front of the list. But because you have to send and stuff, okay, what is it that is extended to me? Is they going to pay me layover and detention? All right. Based upon your contract and stuff, it may say, well, you're eligible for layover after 24 hours. But you may have sat there for only 12 hours. You may not sat there the amount of time and stuff for you to qualify for the layover or the detention. Okay, well, the load counts. Okay. He's still getting paid and stuff, so they may be fair and say, well, we'll give you a load order not used, and get you some money and stuff coming, because see, I'm still going to get paid regardless of whether, now this is the contract to own operator. I'm still going to get paid whether he moved the 6 loads and stuff or he didn't. But I can extend to you some money and stuff. And this is where your layover and your detention and all that stuff comes from. All right? Based upon if they want to extend that to you. Some people do, some people don't. All right? But they're not gonna put you in a spot market position, because now it compromises everything that he has set up with the contracts. So this is why you get to some places and you're sitting for 2-3 days, because okay, the guy that you leased on with, he has to make sure he has a certain amount of trucks in a certain area and stuff, so when those loads and stuff come out, that they can send you over there to pick those loads up. Okay? So if you don't move, it doesn't mean that nobody's getting paid. The owner operator that has the contract, he's getting paid. You're the one that qualifies for whatever contract and stuff that you sign based upon the lease. Okay? This is where the problems and stuff come in, at why they say, well, you go to certain carriers and stuff and you're not making money, or you're just sitting around and stuff like that. Because again, if he told you how the business and stuff work, right, then you would want your money too. You say, listen, hey, okay, if they're pushing out this and that and the loads and stuff, I still want to get paid. I still want to get paid and stuff, because you're getting paid. You're getting paid and stuff for a load that didn't move. And on top of that and stuff, then you not only are you getting paid, but you're also going to get double. You're also going to get double. So, I think I should get broke off and stuff too, because you have me in position, number one. Number two, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything as far as say, well, let me send you somewhere else, right? Let me send you somewhere else. As people be wondering, why is it so daggone? Why am I deadheading? Why am I deadheading so far? I got 150 miles, 200, 300 miles of deadhead. That's why. Because they got contracts and stuff they got to fulfill, and those contracts cover all that. They say, well, look, I got to grab this truck over here and stuff and move him over here to this position. It's chess moves. It's chess moves and stuff. It's moves of strategy. I got to move him over here and get him in position, so when these things come out and stuff, I can have him in place and we can go ahead and we get that load covered. Everything is already factored in. Okay, well, how much will it cost for me to move this truck from here to here, right? Provided things go the way that they're supposed to. I anticipate paying for deadhead miles, paying for detention and layover miles and stuff. All right, this is how much it's going to cost me. Fine. All right, grab him, move him over here. All right, I want you to take him, move him over here and stuff, and get him in position and stuff for the loads and stuff that's coming out tomorrow, so on and so forth. That's what it means to have a contract. As an owned operator, but as a lease, you don't see these things and stuff. You just get a message through the computer. Okay, go over here, pick this load up. Yeah, go over here. You got this load coming out and stuff is going so on and so forth. Okay, or you call in and stuff to say, hey man, there any freight out here and stuff? Well, no, not today, man. The market is looking pretty bad. I don't see anything out there and stuff. And that ain't it. It's just where you at. They got you in position. They got you in position either right there where there's a load that's coming out, or you're either in between one or two areas and stuff to say it can go either way, depending on what load tenders and stuff are coming out. See, that's the strategy behind that. But that's the strategy that you don't see. And if you saw it and you understood it, then you say, well, yeah, okay, I got to get my money too and stuff. Because you are a key player to the game and stuff to make sure that the services are being rendered to the customer. But they just cut you all out. They just cut you all out with whatever false narrative and propaganda and stuff that people believe and say, well, you know, which I say that we, you know, what we should be talking about and stuff is the business. It should always be the business and stuff. Anytime that we, you know, we're doing any kind of back and forth dialogue with each other, it should always be the business. But you know, we're worried about other things and stuff that doesn't constitute revenue, or in other words, costing you revenue, instead of you trying to increase your revenue by getting the understanding of the business. Okay? So this is why, you know, this is the pros and cons and stuff of that. Own operator with contracts, you're getting paid regardless of whether the loads and stuff come out or not. You lease on with a carrier who does contract freight, then it's all based upon what contract and stuff that you sign. But again, by you not having any understanding about the business and how it works, you're cut out from a lot of this stuff where you yourself should be compensated, because the guy that you're leased on with, again, he's being compensated whether he moves the trucks or not. He just has to have the trucks and stuff available to move the loads. But if nothing comes out and stuff, and they say, well, look, hold your position, stay where you at, or stay over here in this terminal and stuff like that, and, you know, go in the TV lounge and go get your motel and all this other stuff here, you know, do that sort of thing there, you know, and keep your mind occupied. Meanwhile, you know, we're still getting paid. You might qualify for layover and stuff like that. All right. Now, spot market. Own operator, spot market, lease driver. Now, in the spot market, there are no contracts. That's just you getting on the load board and looking at securing loads and stuff for X amount of days. Okay, I got this load, they got this load coming out today, and it's gonna move me over here, and then I see this load coming out tomorrow, this time here, I'm gonna get that. That's gonna send me over here, and I'm gonna get that load and stuff there. So while you making phone calls and stuff to the brokers, that's when, you know, you see the loads and stuff, you understand the lanes of travel and stuff like that. You understand the lane rates. So you get a feel, okay, what is it paying based upon this lane to this lane? All right, and there's always an average, which a person never goes below the average unless it's to a benefit. It's to a benefit. Now, it used to be that you can merge in the two. That if you had contract freight, you can merge it in with spot market freight, and this is how you made money. But that's not the case anymore and stuff. It's either you're either gonna be either or, because you know you can have a contract load and it not get paid and stuff to say, well, all right, we got this load right here and stuff. That we got the spot market load that I see, so I'm gonna put him on that. He gonna grab this load, take it over here and stuff, and he'll be back tomorrow to be in position to pick up that contract load. All right, now, you know, with the hours of service and the regulations and so on and so forth, so the things that can go wrong does go wrong. And so, you know, you get over there, you might do that spot market load, but then you might run into an issue where you're being held up for a long period of time and stuff, you know, either picking up or delivering. So it now compromises you being in position to pick up that contract load and stuff that you have for tomorrow. which means that you got to go through another means in order to get that contract load covered, meaning that you got to put the load out there on the board and stuff, and then somebody will call in and say, well, yeah, and so now the price that went up substantially in order to move this approved carrier, as opposed to having your truck or your contract truck that's over there. Okay, so if it's contract freight, they typically stick with running the contract freight. But spot market, now if you're completely and totally spot market, the people that you're leased on with, then again, it's always a requirement. You're always on the go. Everything has to work out. The people that you're leased on with, they're going to be calling you constantly and stuff, because the brokers are going to be calling them constantly, making sure that everything works out. Okay, we're going to get over here. All right, what's going on? They want to know what's going on and stuff, because, with spot market freight, again, it's out there, but the terms and conditions of the load and stuff is very uncertain. You can get there to a customer and they can say, well, all right, you're supposed to be in and out of here and stuff in 10, 20 minutes and stuff, and then now you're held up for, several hours. So now he has to go back and renegotiate with the broker and say, well, hey man, you know what? Dude, he's holding up my truck and stuff like that. He's holding up my truck. What's the deal? Look, I need to get my detention and stuff down. See, when you're under contract, once you're checked in, it's already in the system automatically. But when the spot market, you have to remind them and stuff to say, well, look, okay, you owe me detention. You owe me detention and stuff like that. Your phone calls ring, your phones are ringing constantly. All right? A lot of things go wrong with spot market freight. It's never what's negotiated and stuff except the price. Except the price and stuff, Everyone anticipates he's supposed to be in and out and stuff, but a lot of times that's just not it. Okay? So, like I said, the terms and conditions, they change so much. But there's always loads that are out there. And the prices are always negotiable and stuff. You can make out pretty good on the spot market. If you find, if you get in it and you find out certain things and stuff that's inside the spot market that comes out consistently and say, well, all right, I can go ahead, I can accommodate this and it's paying good money and so on and so forth. I can negotiate a better rate. The rate goes up every time I talk to the broker, or, hey, look, he's always calling me on a consistent basis. You can do it that way, but mind you, you're not under any kind of contract, so that means it's not guaranteed. It can dry up, right? It can dry up and stuff, but if you run it pretty consistent and stuff, then okay, this person didn't have nothing, I can go over here, I can go over there, and you can stay within this price range and stuff, and so you got to average, and you always try to aim above average. You try to aim above average, but you never aim below average unless the load is playing to your favor and stuff. Okay, well, it's put me in position for another load and stuff so I can see taking. Otherwise, they just say, well, now, you know what, man, I ain't messing with it. Okay, no harm, no foul. Your truck will run more than a contract truck. It will run more and stuff, but you have more things that you have to deal with and stuff in order to make money. But the money and stuff is there. Just like we came out of a trucker recession. We just came out of it and stuff, and so 90% of the loads that I do is spot market. 90% of the loads I do is spot market. And so, my phone has just been ringing off the hook and stuff, man. After the last week and stuff, phone's just been ringing off the hook. Hey, look, hey, you ran loads for me before and stuff, and now they're paying right where they're supposed to be paying and stuff. Fuel done dropped and stuff like that. So, but the first half of the year, spot market wasn't so good. But you get the phone calls and stuff like that. Again, own operator, spot market. Now, lease driver, spot market. Same scenario. you have no control. You have no control of what's coming out. It's the people that you're leased on with and stuff. They're looking at the spot market and they're saying, okay, well, I see this load right here and stuff, and I like everything that's being thrown out. So, as a lease spot market, you don't have control over where the load picks up and where it goes. That's all based upon your broker, right? He calls, he tells you, okay, man, look, we got this load here and stuff, and it's going over here, it's going over there. Now, you may be weight conscious. You say, well, listen, I don't want to haul nothing. I don't want to haul nothing under such and such pounds, right? The guy that you're leased on with, he can be less interested in that. What he's looking at is saying, okay, I see this load here. I see this load here. This is how much it's paying, right? And this is going to be my cut. Okay. The next thing is, when dealing with a spot market and you're in a lease, you don't know the person that you're leased on with, what he's negotiating. So you may be taking a load. Now your contract may say that you get 20% of the gross, 15% of the 15% of the gross, 10% of the gross. But you don't know what was negotiated. So then it sends you a rate con and stuff, and the load might be, and say, well, the load's paying 13, when in reality, the load is paying 16. So he took money off the top, $300 off the top. Then he gets his 20% or his 15% or his 10% based upon what contract you signed with this lease company. And that's what they typically do, because again, drivers have no understanding about the business. So how do you counter that? How do you counter that? If you know it's a spot market, then you demand to see the original rate confirmation sheet. You demand to see the original rate confirmation sheet, especially if you feel that something isn't right. You know, you have an understanding of lane rates and stuff like that, and you're saying, well, look, you got it for 13, even though I know this load's supposed to be paying 16. So I need to see the original rate confirmation sheet that you got from the broker. If they hesitate on doing that and stuff, then that just means that they're stealing from you. Because any business, especially a business that you're in and you're a partner of that business, if you ask for them to open up the books, they should be able to open those books up and show you thus and so, because they know everything that you do. They know everything that you do, from your settlements to how you run your business to what places you go to get your equipment and stuff worked on. So, you know, it's a partnership. And they should be able to open up those books and say, well, okay, here's the original rate confirmation sheet right here and shit, to show you that, okay, we got the load for 13. Because, you know, how he makes his money is based upon how he's supposed to make his money. It's based upon whatever you guys negotiate on the contract at the time that you leased on. You say, well, I get 10% of the gross, 15% of the gross, 20% of the gross, so on and so forth. This is where I make my money at. And I make no more than that. But you know, again, spot market, there's somebody else that's negotiating for you and stuff, and then the rate con that you're getting is a carbon copy. Something that's made up of the company that you're leased on with. Okay, here it is right here and stuff. We got it for 13. But they're not showing you the original, which was 16. So he got $300 off. He got $300 plus he's getting whatever off your 13 that he offered you. That's the problems and stuff that people run into with the spot market. It's not to say that everyone does it, but the possibility of it being done, and the fact that people don't know that it's being done or have no knowledge of it, right? It can be done, and nothing's really being done about it. So there's a lot of things that go on in the industry that's being done, and the reason why it's being done, in conclusion, is because drivers simply don't know. And we don't put this on our agenda stuff on things to talk about. You know, we talk about other things that really doesn't affect us in the industry, but yet, if we want to maximize our revenue, then we need to be in things and stuff that consist of us and how we get our money. So we have to have full knowledge of that and stuff. And so, you know, those are the pros and cons of the spot market, and contract freight. So I hope that this video and stuff was helpful. If you need me to go more into detail and stuff, feel free to hit me up. My contact information is on my page. And hit me up on, check me out on Instagram, which is Rhode Island Red Rooster 22. Rhode Island Red Rooster 22. Got content up there and stuff on a more personal basis. And, you know, I still say that if you do reach out to me and stuff, let it be about the industry, and I'll help you out as much as possible. And with that being said, it's your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster. Telling you as always, continue your research, fact-finding studies, harness on your skills every day. Till next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.